All right, good evening and welcome to the Hartland Township Planning Commission meeting of December 3rd, 2015. We'd like to begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Keith, would you take roll, please?
Sure. Larry Fox.
Here.
Jeff Newsom.
Here.
And here Joe Claney, Sue Grissom, Mike Mitchell.
Here.
Tom Murphy.
Here.
Okay.
All set?
All set. We have a quorum.
Okay. And now we're to item 5, approval of our meeting minutes.
So moved.
Support. Motion to approve from Commissioner Newsom, second from Commissioner Mitchell. Are there any changes? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next up, item 6, call to the public. Anyone want to say anything? Okay, we'll close call to the public. No public hearing this evening. And next up, item 8A, approval of our 2016 Planning Commission meeting calendar. Kim, I guess I could turn it over to Kim. Did you have anything you wanted to add to the document?
Nothing to add. The draft before you is what is proposed for the meeting schedule for next year, and it's largely the second and fourth Thursdays, which is typical of the Planning Commission. There are a couple of minor modifications made, mainly in November and December, in order to accommodate holidays. So this will also be re-reviewed in January, and it will be posted in accordance with our regulations so that everybody is aware of it. But adopting it now, we will have that then for review in January.
Great. Okay. Any questions or comments on it?
Just one question.
Yeah.
That summer, there was some brief discussion about moving the meeting.
Was there?
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dave, I think, sent out a survey to see if a different day was better, for example. Isn't that what you're referring to?
Right. There was, not that it concerns me, but I was going to say there was some discussion about moving it because of the fact by the time we meet on Thursday with the office not open on Friday and getting the material ready for the next board meeting.
Oh,
I think didn't he realign some of the meetings so that I think there was some concern last year there was 2 meetings in a week, which is kind of what drove the issue.
Okay.
A board meeting and a planning commission. And I think they changed the dates for those to prevent that from happening again. Not sure if this calendar reflects that, but that's what happened last year. And then I thought the consensus that night was that we were okay with, everybody was okay with Thursdays. It seemed to work out better for everybody. That's how I recall it.
It's fine. I just wanted to see where that discussion
you're jogging my memory a little bit.
The only comment I had was that March 24th meeting is the Thursday before Easter. So just so everybody's aware of it, in case make plans around that, so that we know ahead of time.
Any other comments? Good with you? If not, we need a motion to approve the 2016 Planning Commission meeting calendar.
I'll make a motion to approve the Planning Commission calendar for the calendar year of 2016 as presented tonight.
Support.
We have a motion from Commissioner Newsom, second from Commissioner Murphy. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Next up, I think I'll turn this one over to our planner, Kim Schurschlick, and why don't you introduce what we're trying to accomplish here.
There has been a request to move up the time frame for when there is to be a joint meeting between the Planning Commission and the Hartland Township Board of Trustees. And the goal this evening is to discuss some potential meeting dates, and we're hoping to find something either in late January or sometime in February, and then have the goal setting of the Planning Commission occur probably in March of this year, when typically it does occur in February. And I've provided Chair Fox with those 3 months with the meetings listed as we already know them to be scheduled, both the Planning Commission meetings and then also the Hartland Township Board meetings. So that's just provided for general discussion, but if we can come up with maybe 2 to 3 dates and then present that to the board, we hopefully can identify a date at this time.
A comment I would add is that as you've noticed this last year, we had increased the number of meetings that we actually held. And I know there has been a tendency to maybe take a look at a Planning Commission meeting as a possible date. But Kim and I have already discussed that we're filling for January now. So we may want to not throw those dates out, because if we put February Planning Commission meeting dates in as joint meeting dates as an option, and we have applicants, we all know who's going to come first, the applicant. So let's look at other days of the weeks that maybe work, or weeks, and just what are there better evenings or bad evenings for any of you typically?
Makes no difference for me.
Yeah, my schedule's kind of up in the air, so there's no day that's worse than any other.
Okay.
I'll try to accommodate.
Okay.
So I would agree.
I mean, an option would be to take a look at the Thursdays that we don't have meetings on,
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
because we're all used to Thursday evenings.
Right.
Since we're starting the ball, we could say, take any Thursday you want, in February. How many there were left on that calendar there? How many?
There's actually, there's 2.
There's 2 others.
The 4th and the 18th.
There's 29 days this year.
Okay. I mean, that would be an option, keeping it on a Thursday.
So I like that idea just for being regular. And, with all of our schedules, Thursdays are good for me anyway, so I think that would be my idea.
So that would be the 4th and the 18th?
Yes.
And then do we want to give them something that's not a Thursday?
Let them counter.
Well, unless you want to do a Tuesday, which is their night, right?
Are they meeting? They're meeting the opposite weeks we are in all of them.
Correct.
So we're telling them they're going to get 2 meetings in the 1 week.
Yeah, that
Seems fair.
We'll do this, well,
either that or
we'd
we'd have
get
to.
paid
So.
for that, right?
I don't know how that works.
Get elected, so.
You want to give them something else? I guess we could give them the first, they wanted it in, the suggestion was
Late January.
late January?
January, February, or the first part of March. And my suggestion is to keep it a little bit later so that the new planning director has a chance to get his or her feet wet a little bit before that meeting.
What if we give them the first meeting in, the first date in March then? The first Thursday, yeah.
The 3rd.
Give them the
March
3rd.
Okay.
There's 3 options. Do you have any thoughts or comments on that, Kim?
Let me make sure I have these correctly. February 4th or 18th or March 3rd.
Yep.
And those are all Thursdays.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Thank you.
So I don't think there's any motion needed on that. That was just a discussion. We'll take that back. I don't know if Joe's taking it to the board or not. I had put in that email, I thought. But
He may very well.
Yeah.
I will report it to
James.
the township manager, and we will go from there.
Okay, perfect. Anybody else want to say anything now? You picked the perfect night to come to this. Item 10, the planner's report.
All right. There are no applications currently scheduled for the December 17th meeting, so this meeting could be canceled if that is your preference to do that. We are to the point where reviews, especially by the township engineers, would be difficult to do at this late date. So that is a recommendation that be canceled.
Why don't we just stop there then? You guys all good with that, I assume? You don't want to get together just for the fun of it? No. All right, would you formally go ahead and cancel that meeting?
Yes.
Thank you.
We'll do that.
Yeah, not here.
That's the first one.
And just as a point of information, there are several organizational issues that will need to be taken care of in the first meeting, for the first meeting of January, the January 14th meeting. We do have a list of those which we are going to be providing as updates to your planner's resource book so that you will have that all in the future. But just briefly, all of the officers will need to be appointed for that. There will be a request for a review of the Planning Commission bylaws. If anybody is interested in a Robert's Rules of Order book, I think you probably all have those, but if we need to order some more of those, we'd be happy to do that. We also do hope to distribute updates to the Planning Commissioner contact list, to the staff contact list, and also we'll provide the meeting calendar as well. And then we will plan to review the meeting procedures at that point, and if there are any changes that you would like to that, we will have those incorporated as well. So we'll make sure that's all well documented on the next agenda and that you have all of the materials preliminary to that meeting. Turning to the softball complex up on Clyde Road in 23 has had a tremendous response, and that has been so good, in fact, that the applicant is interested in coming back and actually expanding the two southern fields into baseball fields, which will require some minor tweaks to the site plan. So it is anticipated that that site plan revision will be before you probably January 14th. So that's one to likely expect. The proposed library expansion, which I believe we've talked about briefly before, that also is anticipated to come before the Planning Commission, probably the first meeting in January. So it's a very small addition to the Crow-Main Library. So they are aiming for that date. The final PD site plan application for Walnut Ridge Estates is tentatively expected that they will be requesting the meeting date of the 28th of January. So that one should be coming in as well at that point. As another point of information, there are some concerns about the Mug and Bob's driveway locations on Clark Road. They've been expressed by Livingston County Road Commission, and they have been in contact with our engineers working out those details. Their question at this point is, do you feel that needs to come back before the Planning Commission, any changes to that? My advice on this is that road is under the jurisdiction of the Road Commission, and that they do have the ultimate authority over that. But that is something that if you would like to see plan revisions, then I can certainly request those of the applicant.
Comments?
Which drive is this?
These are,
North or the south?
yeah, both of them.
Both of them.
Yes, there are some.
Isn't there
The
some
ones they already
landscaping?
approved ones?
Minor.
Is there some landscaping associated with that?
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of it, but it's probably not the landscaping. They're questioning, they're talking the driveway location itself.
Yes. And the
So then it
turn
shifts all the
movements.
landscaping.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
And if they're going to move those driveways, then it's going to affect the landscaping plan.
Yeah, and it could affect internal flow depending on what they're doing with it.
Right.
What I would be happy to do is to send you the information that has been provided to us by Kim Hiller, the permits officer for Livingston County, and you can review those, and then we can take a straw poll on that.
Can you just explain to us what their concern is? Sure.
I'd be happy to read you that, yes.
Did you already get to the joint meetings?
We've already held the joint meeting.
Oh. Not surprising the board didn't show up.
Oh, they were here.
One guy got late.
I was coming from Ithaca, so I was doing my best not to go over 85.
Well, thank you. We'll come back.
I was not going over 85, the speed limit.
Okay. Again, this memo is from Kim Hiller. And the first point is the traffic study indicated that left turns out of the site should be restricted at the south approach off Clark Road across from Rovey. Plans are proposing a full access approach that includes an inbound lane and 2 exiting lanes. My review letter will ask for the south approach to be revised to restrict the left turns out of the site. Traffic study also indicated that a right turn lane on Clark Road is needed for both of the approaches. We've reviewed the site circulation and do not think that a right turn lane is needed. Motorists on M59 will mostly use the M59 approach to enter the site. We also believe that motorists will use the right turn lane as a through lane to get to either the north approach or Matthew Lane, which will confuse a motorist waiting to pull out of the gas station approaches. We're proposing to ask the developer to eliminate the right turn lane on Clark Road. Traffic study anticipates 31 rights into the south approach. If you or the township thinks that the right turn lane is necessary, then we'd suggest only requiring it for the south approach, since that is the approach that would receive the turns. The third point is the plans propose to extend the existing center left turn lane on Clark Road north of the northern approach. However, the traffic study does not recommend the extension of the CLTL. As proposed on the plans, this does not meet our geometry standards. In order to meet our standards, this will need to get into the existing approach and bypass at Matthew Lane. The developer would need to extend this past Matthew Lane. We do not think the extension to the northern approach is needed. So most of her concerns go back to what was actually recommended in the traffic study, and she seems to be agreeing with all of that. She has had conversations with our engineer, with John Booth, who is also in agreement with these as well.
So eliminate the left turn on the south exit, basically, and eliminate the deceleration lane or the right turn lane.
Those are the biggies,
Getting
yes.
to both of those.
Those are the biggies.
But physically not really moving them.
Just to limit.
Just the limit. We're going to narrow the south one down.
Reconfigure.
Because they think it will confuse people, they'll use it as a bypass,
Yes.
right, and it cause conflicts.
Yes.
I kind of disagree with that a bit, that portion of it. I don't disagree with eliminating the left, but I don't know.
I thought there was
They're
one.
the experts, right?
I thought it was a left turn lane and then a straight through lane. I don't remember 2 lefts.
Yeah, both of the
There is a
entrances, or both of the curb cuts on Clark Road have left turn.
They allow the left side.
Capability.
Not the north and south. I'm talking about. I thought the letter said that there was 2 left turn lanes out of the south entrance.
No, I didn't. I think it was a lot. There were 2 lanes out. There was a
Yeah.
One
right
straight,
and a through, I think,
Right,
and then a
through and a
left.
left, correct.
So they want the left out of there. What
Maybe
they're
you
saying.
should probably send that to us anyway and let us
Do
take
that.
a look at it.
Doesn't sound like it have any impact on landscaping.
No.
It'll improve it.
It would put more grass in there
More
Yeah.
grass here and there.
along the whole western side.
So back to answer your question.
But if it's going to change the plan much, I think it might have to come back. If it all it does is move the curb in and it adds grass, well, that's one thing. But they're talking about now shrinking the driveway down.
Yes, the south one.
And a center left turn extension coming from this way, heading south, right? They're saying that the center left turn doesn't need to be expanded north past
Their site.
Right. So I mean, it's a major change, but not to the interior of the site. It's
Not
all-
to the interior, it's just the circulation.
Yeah.
And it's the
I guess my concern would be, what is it doing to the landscaping? Because they've got that wall there, and all of a sudden, the wall's going to be short of the driveways now, those types of things. I mean, I don't want them to come back just for the fun of coming back, but I guess maybe you could see the proposal, and maybe you could see what the difference truly is.
That may be the best approach. I will send this out to all of you and then have them do revisions, and these would be the revisions that would then be shown on the construction plans, and distribute those to you for informational purposes at this point, and make a decision from there.
I'm just trying to understand the process. Why did it go through our process all the way through and then go? I mean, why were some of these things done simultaneously? Is that not how the county operates?
I don't know, and this is about the first one I can ever remember ever coming back because of this. And I don't ever remember a
Yeah,
driveway.
it just doesn't make any sense to me. I mean, we talked about traffic, we're concerned about traffic, we talked about the driveways. I would assume that sort of thing would have been worked out, and suddenly after we've gone through all the approvals,
Comes back.
It's coming back. And
Well, and they're actually asking for less improvement. They're asking, the county is saying, don't improve Clark Road as much. We don't want that much road there. You don't need that much road there,
Right.
which is unusual. But I never remember in all the years I've been doing this, which is now like coming up on 12 maybe, I never remember something like this happening with a driveway and a county road commission issue coming up after the fact.
it would be helpful to, I mean, maybe inquire a little bit about that as to why. 'Cause I think, and just state it the way Larry has presented it, which is we've never had this situation come up before. Has a process changed, or what suddenly occurred that because it's sort of now they're getting another, have to come back here, so
It's very possible.
I will ask the question. My impression from the memo is that there were some deviations from the traffic study, which was the first thing that they really reviewed and gave a preliminary approval on.
Okay.
And as this went through the larger process, and because of some of the concerns that have been expressed by the residents, there were some little tweaks made, and I think that their comfort level with some of those changes was not great. That is my view on looking at this.
So they
but
did
I
do
will
their first
verify
pass.
that.
Yeah, they did do their pass on it. It was okay.
Yes.
Because that's what we were told.
Based on that traffic study. Yes,
Right.
based
Well,
on
they
that
made a
traffic
comment
study, they did.
that they were going to reevaluate the traffic flow, remember? After
That's
they
MDOT.
Oh, that was him, okay.
That was MDOT. But there was conversation along the way that the county had done their preliminary reviews of this.
And they did do that. Yes.
So
It
what
was-
happened is it changed between the preliminary review and there, and you're right on some of the driveway things.
We looked at those pretty closely.
Yep. Okay.
I don't know, my general opinion is I disagree. I think a left turn out of either of those entrances or the curb cuts on Clark Road are good, and it'll just work itself out. And I also agree with the right turn lane, the deceleration lane into both of those entrances. So I disagree with them a bit, but that doesn't matter, does it?
No.
As we've
When it's a Livingston County road, no, I don't think so.
it won't be the first time people disagreed with you.
Exactly.
You've gotten this far in life pretty good.
I'm used to it.
Okay. Did you have anything else, Kim?
Nothing more.
Okay, well, before we move, well, we'll go to the committee reports. Joe, we picked 3 dates.
Yeah, I was just about to ask what are those dates.
They were the Thursdays, the first and third Thursdays of February and the first Thursday of March.
Okay, well, one of those, I think we have to have our budget approved by April 1st, and we typically, I'll present it, and it's just that I know that that's budget season, and we'd like to get our budget done sooner.
Okay.
But I would think that might be one of the.
Yeah, we were just working in the range of what we were given as guidance, which was February 1st of March. And that came from, I believe, James.
Yes.
So
we're
we
looking
picked
at-
February 4th.
February 4th, February 18th, and March 3rd.
If the window needs to be different for other considerations, then certainly bring it back. That's what we were told to look at.
Okay.
Or like Jeff says, counter offer.
July.
Okay.
No, I know Supervisor Fountain does want to have this earlier because it could affect budgeting as well.
Sure.
If we're looking at certain strategic issues that you're working on.
Yep.
That we'll want to identify those early on. Of course, you probably work with James on it anyway.
No,
No,
never.
never.
Okay, so you want to try those 3 and see what happens?
Yeah.
See what sticks and come back?
I will do that.
All right, great, thanks. Anybody else, anything, committee reports, comments? If not, we need a motion to adjourn after we wish everybody a happy holiday season.
Merry Christmas.
All right.
Support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay, motion carries. See, you're out of here.